everybody, Scott Luton, Supply Chain Now, back here at Manifest, the center of all things supply chain, at least this week, right here in Las Vegas, meeting the movers and shakers like my friend Dr. Muddassir Ahmed, founder of SCM Dojo.
Right.
Muddassir, how you doing?
I am very well. I just want to give you a huge compliment for doing one thing very right, Scott,
Okay.
which is pronouncing my name and SCM Dojo both correctly in one breath.
Oh,
Nobody's
man.
ever done it. That's like a world record. Well done.
I'm going to go home and tell my mom.
Yeah.
That never happens. Well, seriously, great to see you.
Yeah, likewise.
I'm a big fan of the content and the training and things you're doing to make industry
Yes,
better,
yes,
and I
yes.
look forward to picking your brain here
No,
today.
while we are doing compliments, I
Yeah.
want to give you a huge compliment. You are like a pioneer, right? Because when nobody was doing it, Scott was doing it, and supply chain now was doing it. So you have really, you're the early movers, and we just follow you. We follow you.
Well, I appreciate that, but what you're saying is I was the first nerd.
Yes,
Is that right?
That's correct. That is
Okay.
correct.
All right. Good deal. Let's talk about Vegas first.
Yes.
We got a lot to get into, but first, you come here a good bit, keynotes, trade shows, you
Yes.
name it, business.
Yes.
What is one thing you got to do in Vegas other than work when you come?
I think I'm not into gambling, but somebody who comes in and see the hotels here, the way they're structured, it's pretty standard work actually. So you have a casinos, then you have restaurants, and you have a food court, and especially this whole. I think the reputation of Vegas, which is the Strip,
Yes.
I think it's underrated actually, because the experience I have was much better. The food is fantastic, the vibe is fantastic. What is because I was born in Karachi, Pakistan, and we pride
Okay.
about saying is a city of lights means 24/7. And I think if somebody can beat a city of lights, it's Vegas. It's 24/7 on.
All the time.
The city never sleeps. A lot of things to do for young folks, old folks. I think it's fantastic. Love it. Love it.
I did too.
Lot of things I cannot share right now on the podcast, of course, but you know what I mean.
I did.
Yeah.
It is, as you were describing the ecosystem, I
Yeah.
was thinking it was like entertainment vertically integrated.
Yes.
Everything is in one spot.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
All right. So let's do this. As I mentioned earlier, we've met a couple times
Zooming.
virtually.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
First time we met in
Physical-
person.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of what you've been doing.
Thank you.
You've been growing and having a greater and greater impact.
Thank
but
you.
for the three people out there that don't know, tell us about SCM Dojo.
So SCM Dojo is a name. You're a yellow belt, orange belt. So anybody
Yes,
who's in
back in the day.
karate would understand. Dojo means a place to stay and meditate. So our brand is there to help anybody who wants to learn and develop in supply chain, logistics, and procurement. Why it was born? Because when I was doing the job of a supply chain leader in Eaton and Bridgestone, I saw a lot of people who end up in supply chain are not supply chain educated. They come
Right.
from, I don't know, from operations, somebody from finance, somebody's good in Excel.
Very common.
So exactly. So, but to train those people after 4 or 5 years, because the theory is important. So if you want to reduce inventory, or you want to save costs in logistics, or you want to get better in sourcing, there's a lot of huge theories available, but those folks don't know. So when we want to train them and coach them, it's very expensive. I mean, there's a lot of providers here, I don't want to name them, ASCM, SIPs, but expensive and costly. But I thought there's an opportunity to train people better. And what is right now, with the advent of COVID, we talked about later a bit more, there is a big opportunity for me, what I saw is a big opportunity for Supply Chain Academy to be built and do courses. Now, I was fortunate enough because of the blogging and vlogging, I know a lot of smart people, right? Like yourself. And I rest them out and say, okay, you're very good in network design, you're very good in inventory planning, you're very good in sourcing, you're very good in supply chain utilization. Would you work with me? Create courses. So
Specialization.
Specialization, because not one person supply chain know everything. For example, I know about inventory, end-to-end supply chain planning, a bit of logistics. But if you say go and teach category management, I know category management, I'm never going to teach. So find those experts. So all of our courses have 3 distinctive features. Done by experts, very practical, and we give them tools which you can apply on the job and improve the performance of your function. And that's what we do.
I love it. I love really practical
Yeah.
approaches that folks can operationalize same day,
Yeah.
maybe same hour.
Yeah.
And one thing I've noticed as we were talking pre-show is y'all have expanded that library of specialists.
Yes.
And that's really impressive.
Thank you. I mean, fortunate enough to, thanks to LinkedIn and, blogging or vlogging, a lot of people know me. I get into invitations like I have a keynote tomorrow. When I go there, I meet a lot of smart people like yourself. And when you talk to them, like today I met Corey Weeks, and he's creating a very, very smart inventory dashboard which people tell how to improve availability. Something really cool. He's an expert in that. We just already agreed to do a course and we're going to record it next month. And that's what happens.
Okay.
Right? So
Serendipity.
Exactly. So we got 84 courses. We are the biggest library after Udemy, but Udemy got a lot of reputation. So our claim to fame is we have 84 unique courses, more than 100 hours of learning you will not find for the price we are selling. Yeah.
You heard it here first. Okay. So let's talk beyond SCM Dojo.
Yeah.
When you think of the evolving supply chain training landscape,
Yeah.
what's been some of the most critical changes and needed changes
Yes.
since COVID?
Okay. So one thing first, I think what COVID has done, it's accelerated two things. Is the concept of remote working and concept of remote learning. Because initially before that, I mean, I knew as a planner I can work from home, but I was never allowed, right? So it has given us this flexibility, but it comes with a lot of faith and accountability and self-development, and a manager needs to show confidence that you're working from home.
Right.
But it has also enabled people to learn remotely as well, right? And this is where the online academy, I think you can see all the online learning platform gone up,
Yep.
so as up, but also it brings challenges as well, because I believe supply chain is a field where you have to see people physically. I think
Right.
that's very important.
People learn differently.
People learn differently
Yeah.
as well. So I remember when I started my career, and one of my senior buyers said to me, if you can go and somebody to ask a question, do that, because you build network and you will gain confidence, and he will do a job for you quickly. But I think the remote working has taken out this human element, and I think relationships is gone rather weaker. Because right now we meet, we are vibing together,
Right.
we're building credibility, and next time if I even message you, I'm sure you will respond me better than you always have done. You have done it very well. I'm just giving
You're
example.
saying I'm being a bad friend.
No, I'm not. You're not a bad friend. I'm just giving example. There will be a human, let's call it
Some rapport.
rapport, right?
Yeah.
A bit more chemistry, a bit more respect, and I think that is missing, and this needs to come back.
Yes. It is, it's interesting. I was in a remote business, a remote small business
Yeah.
before the pandemic. And I've always been an in the office person.
Yeah.
I've always been someone that loved the water cooler moments, loved popping in
Yeah.
offices and having conversations
Yeah.
between the meetings, stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Because to your point, that's how a lot of folks can build rapport and
Yeah.
camaraderie
Yeah.
and that relationship and that trust currency, or the economic, the relationship currency that you're talking about, right? And virtually, you've got to work 10 times harder
Yeah.
remotely,
Yeah.
I think, to develop that same relationship
Agree.
economics, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And supply chain is essentially business,
Yeah.
right? And business, a relationship, you cannot discount that. It's super important.
Yep. Okay. So now that we've kind of looked back,
Mm-hmm.
I want to look forward,
Excellent.
especially through the lens of this golden age of not just supply chain,
Yeah.
because it's fascinating. Good days and bad days. It's
Yeah.
intriguing to be in global supply chain. But especially, it's like the golden age of supply chain tech right now.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So how do you see the needed and required competencies of supply chain professionals evolving looking forward?
I think this is. I'm gonna try to answer shortly, because I have a 45 minutes talk on this tomorrow, right? I'm gonna give you a snippets of it. So if you think the supply chain word was, I think, started from 1960s. It was logistics and materials management.
Yep.
Then in 2000 we got the supply chain management. Then we talked about 2010 supply chain digitalization.
Right.
We talked about that, and now I think since 2020 we talked about AI in supply chain. Now in 2025, 24 we're talking agents.
Yes.
And if you go around on this floor right now, I'm sure our cameraman would show that there's half of those companies here having this AI agents, logistics agents. They're talking
AI,
agentic
gotcha.
AI, vertical agentic AI, and what they're saying and claiming is essentially the most of the it's not a fear factor, right? It's technology can do what human can do. Basically, they can make decisions, they can read documents, they can input data into ERP system, they can extract the data out on the website, they can track, they can do a lot of things.
Yeah.
So what humans needs to do is now to figure out how I build my competency to use AI better to improve the functions I'm doing. So this fear, it will eliminate my job. Yes, if you're just doing repeatable tasks, unfortunately, I have to say, yes, it will happen. You like it or not, it will happen, right? And anybody who will not adopt, I can tell you, they're gonna stay behind.
Yes.
Right? So unfortunately, that's the fact. The quicker you would understand and appreciate and adopt, the better it is.
Yeah.
Right?
And I completely agree. And we'll take a pause. We'll just take a pause and that's okay. All good. It went out at a good time.
Yeah.
Because I'm just going to pick right back up and respond to what you shared.
Thank you.
I took some videos.
I appreciate that. I will make like a
Thank
short
you.
or something.
Ethan.
Yeah, promote Scott here.
All right. Man, this concrete floor
Yeah.
killing me. All right. So we're going to give it a pause once time is set. I'm going to pick right back up responding
Yes.
to what you shared there, okay? And, okay. All right, I'm going to give it a 3 and I'm going to respond. I completely agree, Muddassir. For folks, and you know, it's important that we keep it real and we be frank. If you like doing the same thing every day, 9 to 5, and you're unwilling to learn these new things, whether it's AI or really anything else, you might well lose your opportunity. But the flip side, for those that raise their hand and they're willing to learn and they're willing to then apply,
Yeah.
the windows, the doors of opportunity are going to be opening, I believe, and I don't think it's too optimistic,
Yeah.
opening left and right.
Absolutely.
Would you agree?
100% agree.
Okay.
100% agree.
All right. I'm going to, so before I wrap with some good news, what else? You're giving this panel tomorrow. You're
Yeah.
talking on this topic, the
Yeah.
evolving skill sets of supply chain
Yeah.
pros. What's one other prediction for how these our industry's competencies will be needing to change?
Okay, so I think one of the things where there is, I would call it a fad rather than fashion around agentic AI, but I think the expectation people are having is a bit false. And I'll tell you why they are a bit false. Not because of people,
Yeah.
it's because of what the current processes and systems and let's call it data, which is mainly sitting ERP systems we are sitting. It's pretty crap, right? So if there was a very famous image said by like you have if shit and shit out, we call it AI on ERP. If you put AI, is a magical shit and shit out, nothing else, but still shit and shit out, right? So, but right now, what AI needs to do, what people need to do, is to improve this whole data and the process side,
Okay.
right? Once they improve that, then you can really see the real benefit. Without that, you will not, right? So that's my first point, which is not a prediction, by the way,
Right.
Which is basically I'm highlighting a key
Yes.
element. So the people who's going to do it, they will really grow. Now, the second, I think the real prediction I'm going to say in terms of competencies is, of course, so you're a procurement person, logistics, supply chain, you do our courses, but so historically speaking, if you're technically good and you're good with people, you have good leadership skills, you're a good communicator, you have a good personality, right? You can network with people, you can go to a leadership position. That was a minimum, or let's call it maximum requirement. But now, if you want to be a C-level in supply chain, on those two things you cannot.
The bar is higher.
Bar is hard. You really need to understand the essence of technology. Most importantly, that which technology is beneficial in which part of supply chain. Allow me to explain. For example, if you understand cloud, you would understand the cloud will more work where the workflows are involved. If you're talking about IoT, then you have to really understand it more work where you have a physical asset and tracking and tracing is involved.
Right.
So you really need to, if you're talking about artificial intelligence, you really need to understand which part of supply chain it will be useful. So one size doesn't fit all. So the leaders or the supply chain people who really understand the architecture of technology and in which part of supply chain is involved will come out as a winner, 100%.
I like it. And I like the passion with which you deliver that. Tell it like it is, Muddassir. I love it. Okay, let's talk about the supply chain show. I want to wrap some good news here.
Cool.
So you've done a variety of programming going back for a couple of years now. I see you coming through all the time. I see different guests, different lessons, different topics. What is one thing that you're really excited about looking forward in 2025 that's going to be part of the supply chain show?
To have you in supply chain show.
Okay.
That's the most interesting part. And I think on a serious note, what we're trying to do with the supply chain show here is the regular, be upfront, try to bring experts who will bring a lot of useful knowledge. And I think that what we're doing differently is, which we've never done before, we are doing more workshops and practical workshops partner with some brands if you could. For example, on 20th of May
Yeah.
in California, we are doing with Dicey. You know Dicey, we met this
Yeah.
morning. We're doing a workshop on sales and operations planning. If you want to know, you can contact me on LinkedIn at Muddassirism. I'll send you the link. So this is where it's a unique workshop. It's not really a masterclass.
Right.
So the idea here is you will come to that workshop. We will give you 90 minutes SNOP lecture. Then you will have a partner who will give you a demo of some sort or like AI tool or some sort. And then in the next half an hour, you will use us as a consultant. And when you will leave with your practical roadmap of how to deploy SNOP better.
I like
with
it.
the right tools, with the roadmap and the pair networking. So I learn from you, you learn from me. That will never happen anywhere. So we want to create this engagement of communities where people not just learn theory, leave with the plan of execution and execute.
Hey, I love it. Sounds really, again, going back to practical.
Thank you.
Not theoretical.
Yeah.
Something that folks leave with a roadmap so they know what next steps to take and hopefully have the confidence to do it.
Yeah.
And then they've got that network, that going back to the relationships, the practitioner relationships to lean back on to help them down the path.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And we do more and more. So we'll see how it goes.
I'm going to be in California. I might attend that session with you in DC.
Please do.
And by the way, DC, Sfragola, did I say her last name? So DC, if you're watching, I always trip up on your last name, but congrats on the new book she's got coming out soon.
Yeah, on this construction. She's using one of my content in there. So yeah, rooting for Daisy on the book. Yes.
Love it.
And actually, one of my projects for 2025, I'm writing a book on inventory named Decoding the Inventory Code. And so we are promoting a framework there. So right now, that's all I can tell you right now. This book is coming. Yeah, with Kian.
Oh, you got lots of irons in the fire and plenty of passion to power them all.
Thank you.
Dr. Muddassir Ahmed with SCM Dojo. How can folks connect with you?
Just Google my name, you'll find us. I'm on LinkedIn. So my handle at Muddassirism, MUDDASSIRISM. Muddassirism is same everywhere. LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, you name it. Same handle, you'll find me. Just Google me. Right.
Muddassir, thank you so much.
Thank you
for stopping by today, folks. We're continuing our coverage of Manifest, where we're interviewing the rock and roll movers and shakers across the supply chain industry. Stay tuned as we continue that, and you can find it all at supplychainnow.com.
Thank you for having me.
You bet.